finally there is a solo build for Thief that is very easy to play, even easier than my other released solo builds. If you're intrigued by this, be sure to watch the whole video to not miss out a thing about this amazing build. As always, special shout out to all my tier supporters that help me keep the lights on, and now without much further ado, let's jump straight in. Small disclaimer at the beginning, this build is not made for being absolutely high DPS as a solo build. This is a build for people that want to have an easy time in open world, soloing hero points and stuff, and don't care if the damage is a little bit lower than usual, but want to have a build that is very easy to play, like really easy, pressing 2 buttons and that's it. With that much said, let's start with the gear. So this build is very similar to my already released group build for Deadeye that uses a lot of unload to upkeep damage and has very easy time with the rotation because you just spam your unload skill. This build is very similar to that. So it uses almost the same gear. If you want to know more about the build for the group content, be sure to check out this video. Link is in the description below, of course. So let's start with the gear like I said. And we have here full dragon pieces, like full dragon pieces for the armor. And we want to run Superior Rune of the Dragon Hunter for more ferocity. This build has a very easy time crit capping, so we can go for a lot of dragon pieces. For your trinkets, you also want to go for full dragon, like very easy, full dragon everywhere. If you can afford infusions, you would go with power infusions. Obviously that's not necessary, it just increases your damage by 1%, it's not a big deal, so don't worry too much about it. For your weapons, I would recommend pistol like I said, and in the offhand, I personally like to go for a staff for some more cleave. You could easily go for short bow if you want to have some more range cleave, but there are multiple ways to play it. I would say pistol is very good, and don't forget in open world if you need CC, you can also use the Warclaw. But you also have your offhand 4 pistol skill for CC, so you don't need a second weapon set that needs a lot of CC. So typically I would say pistol you stay on for 99% of the fights. The weapons I would recommend going for full Berserker. And on the weapons for sigils I would go Sigil of Accuracy and Sigil of Force. Yes, you could min-max a little bit more with the crit chance and the damage, but I think that's the most straightforward setup, very easy to follow. For your relic, the most optimal relic for healing is Relic of Securus. It gives you 4% healing baseline, it's really strong. So every single hit that you do heals you 4% of the damage that it deals, because you have Permanent Fury, really strong. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, you could go for Relic of the Thief and have a very nice damage buff on top of that, but you lose a little bit of healing, keep that in mind, but this build is heavily reliant on dealing damage to heal, so I would recommend Securus for a bit more safety. Now, let's talk about the consumables. So for the consumables, I would recommend going for Peppercorn Crusted Sweet Steaks. They give you nice power and ferocity, so more damage. And they give you some kind of small protection buff, minus 10% incoming damage. It's really nice. If you want to solo some stuff, you don't get hit that hard. If you don't have access to scented food, I would recommend bowls of sweet and spicy butternut squash soup. It's the next best option. You lose the small protection buff, but you still get the damage. And for utility consumables, I would go for Superior Sharpening Stones or something that gives similar amounts of power value. Before I go to the trades, I want to mention if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But now let's talk about the trades. So for the trades, we are really focusing on doing a lot of healing while also keeping up your damage, because a lot of your healing comes from dealing damage. You will see that. We take Deadly Arts, Critical Strikes, and of course Deadeye. In Deadly Arts you just get some poison application and some weakness that can be good to actually get less damage, but typically it's not that important. Get some damage increases per condi on the boss, okay, you're solo not that crazy. Then you take Mug for some healing on your steel, which is your Deadeye's mark, so a little bit of healing is good. But if you don't need that, you can easily go for more power here with Dagger Training. Gives you 80 power on top, even if you don't wear a dagger, so that can be a little bit of a DPX increase. I just like to take Mug for a little bit more safety. Then you take Even the Odds for 10 vulnerability for 10 seconds whenever you steal. That can be helpful because you really don't have any vulnerability access if you don't run Frailty Sigils. So it's a little bit like, this helps you a little bit for some burst at the beginning. And then you take Improvisation, which is really fun because it lets you use your stolen skills twice. That's really good. The second part is nice. Reduce the cooldown of all equipped utility skills when you steal. That's nice because you can just spam your utility skills more often, but you take this trade really for this 2 times stolen skill uses. You will see that why it's so important in a second, but that allows you to permanently upkeep quickness. Then you have Critical Strikes. Critical Strikes is obviously a really fun trade line, gives a lot of crit multipliers. So here, 10% more crit chance and even more crit chance when you are above a certain health threshold, really nice. Then you get Fury when you critical strike an enemy, very good. And that already is 50% Fury uptime. Then you get more critical hit damage, very good. Then you have again 7% more critical hit chance if the foe is defined, or if you strike someone from behind or the side. So that's really important, that if you fight a boss, it doesn't matter, but if you fight something that is an open world trash mob or an elite or a veteran or something, you have to try to stand behind them or from the side if you can do that, so you get more crit chance. And of course you get more crit hit damage here. Then your pistol skill is pierced and deal 10% more damage, that's quite nice. The piercing is quite good because otherwise you don't have that much cleave, but if you're fighting a boss you don't need that anyway. And then lastly, this is the important trait, Invigorating Precision. It gives you 4% healing, like exactly like Sakiros, while you are so to say critting, you heal. And under the effect of Fury, this is actually increased to 6%. So if you have Fury and crit with Sakiros and this trait, you get 14% healing. So this is really strong. The first part is not even necessary to have Fury, but of course you have Perma Fury, so you get the second part as well. If you are in a situation where you don't need any healing other than Sakiros, which can happen, then the best option would be to switch this trait to no quarter to get actually quite a lot of damage uptime. Quite a lot of more damage. This increases your damage by like 1 to 2k depending on the situation. This of course is very nice for the healing, so I would recommend if you really solo and struggle to survive, use this trait and you will typically not have any problems, because with this trait you get around like 1.6k healing per second if you do it correctly, and that's really good of course. That's just from this trait and Sakiros Relic though. There are more healing baked into this kit of course. And then you have Deadeye. Deadeye is obviously really nice because it gives you access to your Deadeye's mark. It's not a teleport anymore, it's just marking the enemy, and that gives you some malice, and this improves your attack skills. Some regen here, some more damage, and you get reduced damage from the marked target. That's quite nice. If you fight a boss, you just take less damage from the boss. That's good. Then you take one in the chamber. That's really cool because that means your stolen skills deal more damage, and you get a random new stolen skill when you use a cantrip, and you have one cantrip, which we'll get to in a second, Shadow Flare. And that means that you actually get some nice uptime of your stolen skills because you take this trait, Fire for effect, and you will always get steal time as a stolen skill, and that means that you can permanently upkeep quickness, and you get some nice boons with it like Fury and Might on top of that. It's really cool, really good skill, and this means that whenever you steal, you get 2 times steal time, and if you use a cantrip skill, you get another steal time, and therefore you can spam that quite often. And then lastly, you take Silent Scope. This is quite typical for a Rivals build, but we are not playing Rival, but you still get some precision, and that helps you to crit cap very easily. And that's the traits. Now let's cover quickly the utility skills. So I would always go for Signet of Malice because, like I said, you already have like very good healing, but this, for every time you attack, you actually heal as well, and this is multi-hit, so that means that heals you very often. I would not use it actively. Then, like I said, use Shadow Flare for a nice damaging skill that you can use on a ground target, and you can swap places with it. It's really good as well if you need to go and move 1200 range. It's like a teleport. And this is obviously giving you the stolen skill, like I said, so you can get more quickness there. This is nice haste for some quickness and a Sunbreak and some Fury. I would always use it at start of a fight, but you can replace it if you wanted to for another teleport, for some stealth. You can go for a lot of options here, whatever you like. I just like to have some more safety with a Sunbreak and a quickness thing that you can pop in instant cast. And then you have Signet of Agility just for some more passive precision, and I would also use that if I need a lot of Condic lenses. So that's the good part, and it also gives you some endurance. And then Dagger Storm is the panic button because it gives you a 3-second evade, so it will also heal you a bit because it deals some damage. And it's a multi-hit skill, so keep that in mind. But in general, this is a panic button, so whenever you are low, you use that and you heal a bit and you don't take any damage if you don't have any condis on you, and that means that you can then after that recover a bit and use other skills again. On staff, I would typically use the auto attack, the 2 skill and the 5 skill. The 4 and 3 skill is not that important. This is a nice evade and this is a nice blind, but typically, and reflect some missiles, but typically I would, like I said, stay on pistol and only use the 3 skill. It's really like the 3 skill is the most important thing because it gives you initiative back if you hit all of the attacks, and it does a lot of damage. And that's 900 range, so I would just spam that and you can upkeep your initiative permanently. That's the build. If you need CC, use the 4 skill. And other than that, you can use the smoke field together with the staff to get some stealth, but I mean, who are you, a PvP player? And then you have the 1 attack. If you, for whatever reason, don't have any initiative anymore, you can spam the 1 attack. Important thing is you get stealth if you used your F2 skill, if you have full malice. So that I would recommend using the stealth attack because it gives you some nice might. And other than that, I would always use the Deadeye's mark and get some nice healing, and of course got the stolen time skill. This is the whole build, how it plays. Let's now talk about the rotation. Rotation is really easy. You want to start with using your haste skill and instantly use your Deadeye's mark into your unload skill, and then you use 1 stolen time and use another stalling time and then use spam unload. You then can use Shadow Flare if you don't need this as a teleport and get another stalling time, use the stalling time. If you have full malice, you will go into stealth, use the stealth attack, and other than that, you just lose the unload. And always repeat this loop, so to say, whenever the steal or the Deadeye's mark comes off cooldown, use it and use the stolen skills. Other than that, just spam this free skill. This is the whole build. And with this, you heal like over 2k per second. It's really, really strong. You have like decent damage numbers, like over 11k if you run the Invigorating Precision trait. If you run the No Quarter trait, you have over 12k, 12.5k DPS. So it's not the highest damage number, but it's very safe and very easy to play, and you can easily outlast the medium damaging field here. And it's really fun in my opinion for people that want to play a thief and like this pistol playstyle. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope to see you all in the next video.